you please direct your attention to the flag as we honor America with the singing of our national anthem, performed today by Amy Flanders.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets rattling, the bombs bursting air, came through the night, that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
4:58. Is that what it is? So now they got a 4-minute warm up or something.
You warm up for your first rotation. Coaches, your warm-up clock will begin in 2 minutes. Every time the gymnast scores a 9.9 or above in any event, the Spirit Squad will be tossing t-shirts into the crowd between rotations. Be sure to watch for a score of 9.9 or better and make some noise for an Iowa Gymnastics t-shirt. Use the hashtag #5ForIowa for your chance to be featured on the video board throughout the evening. Snap photos of your friends and your favorite views inside Carver, and keep your eyes peeled on the video board.
One of my classmates.
Yeah.
I only have a blue jacket. I have a gray one, but I don't know at home. Probably white. I can't be biased. Yeah. I'll do my research.
Yes.
And we can't see anything, so. I'm anxious. Let's go. Come on. Okay, here we go. From Carver Hawkeye Arena on the campus of the University of Iowa, welcome to University of Iowa Women's Gymnastics. Tonight, the Iowa Hawkeyes hosting the Iowa State Cyclones. It is a part of the Iowa Corn Growers Cy-Hawk Series, the second to last event of the season. We'll talk about that as we go along through this academic year. I'm Jerry Koala, along with Kyla Kessler, broadcasting with me here tonight. And even though we know it's the Cy-Hawk Series competition, I think for all of these athletes, Kyla, as we go on the next couple of weeks, this meet is important for their growth and their improvement.
Yes, the Cy-Hawk Series is important in terms of win-loss for Iowa and Iowa State, but both these teams will have to compete very strongly tonight and get some really high scores if they want to improve their national qualifying score and qualify to regionals, especially Iowa State tonight.
So University of Iowa comes in and seemingly have a little bit more experience, and they've had some pretty good success this year.
Yes, Iowa has been looking really good. Of course, they've had some bumps along the road, but they're going to want to perform really strongly tonight, have a lot of sticks, a lot of straight legs, pointed toes. They're ranked 20th. So they're in a good spot for regionals, but Iowa State is ranked 39th, so they're going to want to cut in at number 36 at least, so they're going to need 196 as their next couple of meets.
And Iowa State has improved greatly in their meets, although they lost to Denver last weekend in a very close team score, but Denver ranked number 10.
Yes. Iowa State's growing every week. You can see that their quality of gymnastics is improving and they're getting more confident, so it should be a good meet for us tonight.
All right. Well, here we go. My first as a gymnastics announcer, and we'll make the best of it here. Jerry Koala is my name, and Kyla Kessler. We'll talk about her background in gymnastics as we go along. And our first competitor in the vault tonight is Gianna Masella.
She did a beautiful Yurchenko full with a tiny hop back. That'll score really well and is a really great start for Iowa.
Had a 9.9 against Michigan State back on the 11th of February. It didn't compete in the vault the last two meets.
That should be right around a 9.9 in my opinion, so we'll see how the judges think that went.
Gosh, you only get one shot at it, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Do the best you can. All those hours of competition or of warming up.
Yeah, last weekend actually Gianna went 9.9 with a stick as well, so she is performing very well.
Next up for the Iowa Hawkeyes.
We'll go to bars now. So Iowa State will perform next.
Oh, I see.
Yes, and Madeline Langkamp will be going.
Okay, so Iowa State now will compete in the bars competitions, and Madeline Langkamp, as Kyla just alluded to.
Last week Madeline went 9.725, looking to improve this week. She's going to mount the bar, do a hop to a pike Jaeger, really clean. Nice cast handstand, all the way to handstand. To an overshoot, and also a handstand. Looking really clean so far. Good cast handstand, maybe a little bit short. Winding up for her dismount, a double layout, with a small hop back. Great start for Iowa State. They're going to like that score.
Will there be any kind of point knockoff because of the hop back?
Definitely.
Slightly.
It's really, obviously, gymnastics is subjective, so it could go half a tenth or a tenth, depending on what the judges think.
Okay, so we'll go back to the vault for the University of Iowa, and Kendall LaPlante, a junior from Seminole, Florida. Her season best, 9.825.
She just did a Yurchenko full. A little bit of soft knees on the landing, which caused me to take a hop back, but it was a very clean vault, a lot of power, and good body form in the air.
Happy with that one?
Happy with that one.
Better than 9.825?
The hop may have been a little bit big, so might go a little bit under 9.825, but we'll see what the judges think.
Back to bars, Logan Basswell at a 9.75 in the meet against Denver last weekend.
Yeah, and Iowa State's going to be looking for the 9.8 tonight and in the near future in the next meets. That'll get them to the 49 on each event, which will get them to the 186 team score. And they're definitely going to be looking for 186ers coming up.
Got a fair amount of pressure on these athletes then, knowing that they must improve if they need to get that inside that top 36.
Definitely, especially after making regionals last year. You're going to want to make regionals every year after. So they're really trying to get to that 36 spot. A unique mount to Kathleen. Blind chain. A very pretty straddled Jaeger, done very well. Composed herself well after the little form break. She's swinging very smoothly, she's very confident. Pretty double layout, just a little bit under-rotated.
You said it, and you said it unique at the very beginning.
Yeah, not a lot of people do that mount in college, so it's nice to see a little bit of individuality coming in to the bars. So
the difficulty of that mount because of well, as we go back to the University of Iowa and Allison Zolke on the vault, what do you think of that one?
She does a vault that it's named after her, so it's her vault and she performs it very well. Just a tiny hop back. Iowa's going to want to start singing some landings soon, definitely, to try to help their all-around score.
Let's see where we're at. She had a 9.9 at the Big Five last week in vault, so
that's a very good score.
Heading in the right direction.
Yeah, she took a hop back, so I don't know if it'll quite be a 9.9, but it'll be close.
So back to the bars now for Iowa State. Got Maya Ford.
I think it's Maya's first time competing in a lineup at least, so she's going to want to score big here and get some confidence under her belt going into the postseason.
She's a senior from Issaquah, Washington, on the northwest part of the country where they're getting lots of rain right now.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of the rainy season, I think, out to northwest part of the country.
Now getting set to go.
So is this the traditional way of starting it on the bars, is the way she went, or just doesn't matter per athlete?
Just depending on what the athlete's strong at. We do a variety of skills. Some people can play around with their routines, and depending on what they're the best at, what they're the most confident with, is what they'll compete each week. So that's a great routine from Maya. She was a little bit short on her overshoot to the low bar, and a little bit pikey on her double layout, so she needs to take a step forward.
So Karina Munoz for the University of Iowa on the vault.
That was a huge vault. That was very pretty. She had to take a small hop back, but other than that, it's a great vault.
She did a 9.9 and tied for third last week at the Big Five. Karina, a freshman from East Brunswick, one of the, I think the future looks pretty good for Iowa gymnastics, and with that kind of athlete.
For coming in as a freshman and doing all around, that's very difficult, and she's performing very well so far this season, so Iowa has a lot to look forward to from her in the future.
So back to the bars, it'll be Natalie Horowitz for Iowa State.
Last week she went 9.8.
Injured all of last year.
She mounts the same way as Maya Ford. Nice pass handstand. To straddle Jaeger. Just a little bit close to the bar. She has to bend her arms on the catch. We would want to see them catch with straight arms. Really nice overshoot. Just a small form break. She's really taking her time and being intentional with her gymnastics. Into a double layout. They're excited.
Beautiful dismount.
Yes, that was a great routine by Iowa State. Linda's a senior, one of 3 tonight competing. Her high score is a 9.975, and she also has a very unique goal, so it'll be interesting to see if she can stick it tonight. She'll do a Sukahara layout.
Ooh. Linda Zivit from Manhattan, Illinois, just outside of Chicago.
She transferred in.
Now, is it the buildup of speed that gives you that extra push through the ball?
I think the speed helps, but it's not always just the speed. It's a technique that you put into your hurdle and your round off, and all of that combined helps you generate the speed and power once you take it.
So Hannah Loyam for Iowa State on the bars.
Last week she went 9.7, so she's going to want to improve her speed. Pretty casting. A nice pike Jaeger, great distance from the ball. Pass right into handstand. Pack just the smallest foot separation during the pass. A little bit short on that half pirouette on the low bar. She didn't quite finish her handstand, so the judges would like that for that one. Winding up for the dismount. Double layout. Chest is a little bit low. She would want to look more forward when she lands because she's looking at the ground. It probably affected her, and that's why
They had tough judging, with these gymnastics. And, as we watch it, through the Olympics, and as you watch this as a natural. And here's probably Iowa's best in the gymnastics, Jaquavia Henderson.
she's a senior tonight, so there's going to be celebrating her all night. She just did a beautiful Yurchenko full. The past couple weekends she's done a 1.5, but she's jumped out of it last week, so they're probably just making sure that she has a good score, good landing. So it's very nice. Just a hop back.
So Iowa State now will move into Laura Cook, 6th competitor on the bars.
Last week she scored a 9.8. So far, all of Iowa State's bar scores have been under 9.8, so they're going to want to look to build later in the meeting. Beautiful release move combination. A little bit short on that half pirouette on the low bar. Laura's going to finish up with a dismount, double layout. To a really small hop, but that was Iowa State's best routine, I would say. Very beautiful.
Slim margin for error, though, as far as error goes.
Save an exhibition for Iowa now.
So for the ball for the Hawks, it'd be Avery Chambers.
Height off the table and had to sit it down. But great competition experience to get out there and do a really hard ball that not many girls do. So
yeah, you got to get out there and get that competitive nature in you. She did a 9.775 at in the Michigan State meet back on the 11th of February. So Coach Libby just kind of slowly, gradually moving her into competition then.
exhibition here for Iowa State. Beautiful release move. Maybe just lacking a little bit of swing out of it. Handstand to free hip connection on the low bar. So pirouette dismount, double tuck. Just a small hop. I'm very happy about that.
Morgan Engels performing there for Iowa State.
The exhibition spot is always fun. A no pressure situation. You can just go out and show off. It's so fun.
So you see the teams crowding around the event that they were in. See Iowa State right there. Their head coach, Jay Ronayne. Been there 17 years, and the Hawkeyes with Larissa Libby, her 19th year as a head coach and 23rd with the program. And it's amazing how far they have to go to recruit athletes to come to the University of Iowa because of the lack of popularity in the state of Iowa for gymnastics.
Oh yeah. I mean, this is my first year in Iowa, and a lot of my friends don't see the appeal, but I feel like people should.
Veterans with experience and the youth coming in. Larissa Libby continuing to build this program.
I think that they have a lot to look forward to in the future. They have a lot of freshmen competing now, which is great for the future of Iowa gymnastics, just because they're already getting so much experience right now.
So we're waiting the time period to end here shortly. And we'll get our second event started here, and Iowa State again will be on the vault, and the Hawkeyes will be on the bars. Assuming Iowa will have the first competitor on the bars, Allison Zolke. Allison, a junior from Waukesha, Wisconsin. Her best on the bars this year was at the Wasatch Classic, 9.850. She has done that, performed that twice.
So start the rotation, we have Anna Palacios.
So Iowa State gets started with Anna Irene Palacios on the vault.
She has a nice Rodchenko full, just a slight kick down that caused her to pop back. Kicks up Iowa State. Now we have Allison.
Okay.
She does a huge release move. Very nicely done to a pack salto down to the low bar. She's heading back up to the high bar for a dismount, a little bit short on that cast. A full pirouette to a double tuck, and a small hop back. Great stuff for Iowa. They're going to want to start seeking a lot of landings though. It's going to be essential for them to get to where they want.
So Kelsey Boychuk will be up next for Iowa State on the vault. Boychuk, 4 years at Iowa State. Has competed on the vault, beam, and the floor exercise. Had a 9.875 on the vault last week.
She's going to do your Rodchenko full. Very clean, a little pikey in the air, but very clean for Iowa State.
It's amazing how much momentum they build up coming off that ramp. You know, that's why I guess where I was talking about the speed running down that ramp to get to it, and you know sometimes I guess you can bounce a little bit further than necessary or than you want to.
The judges are looking for height, distance, all of that goes into the judging.
So for the Iowa Hawkeyes on the bars will be Gianna Masala.
She's going to mount to a Cass Hansen, just a little bit short. Pretty blind chain to a Pike Jaeger. A little bit of a form break bent into the feet. Overshoot down to the low bar. A nice Cass Hansen on the high bar. A double layout to the split.
the freshman again. Did a nice job on the vault. So now we go back to the vault for Iowa State's Josie Bergstrom.
That's a very clean vault for Josie. Just a small hop back. Other than that, Iowa State's been very clean on vault. They're going to want to start scooping as well.
Did a 9.875 in the Denver meet last week. So back to the bars for the Hawks. Marissa Rojas.
Allison Zolke started.
Oh, did I skip one?
Nope, I'm just saying she started out with a 9.75 for the Hawks.
Oh, sure.
Gianna Marcella had a 9.825. They're building scores. They're heading in the right direction.
So Gianna Masala with a 9.825, and now it's Marissa Rojas for the University of Iowa.
Just a little bit again.
Nice. That garner her the 9.9 that we're looking at?
I'm hoping, but the judges
You don't think so?
are super picky tonight, so we should see something in the 9.8.
9.8. So back to the vault for Iowa State, Kaya Parker. She held that pose right at the end, didn't she? Had to be sure.
Confident. It was a little bit low. She came up to the table a little bit high, but she pulled through and
Still await the score for Marissa Rojas. Back to the bars for the Hawkeyes, Jerquavia Henderson.
as we said before, it's the first time on bars this season.
Marissa with a 9.725.
They must have deducted her from a little bit of floor breaks throughout the routine, but overall I thought the routine was very She mounts to a toe shoot connection to Maloney. Slight foot separation on the swing back, but I don't know if the judges could see that. Overshoots her handstand. Nice pass to Vincent. A full in. She's gonna make it.
Height, balance, and when she landed, she
She's confident throughout. She's calm.
suppose she had all that same confidence when she was a freshman. As we take a look at on the bars, Hannah Loyam on the vault.
That was Emily Hong. She had her Yurchenko full. Again, just a little bit high onto the table, caused her to land short, take a really big hop and step out of the
So Karina Munoz will be the next competitor for the Hawks on the bars.
Karina's had a very exciting freshman year so far.
Been in heavy competition, especially the vault, the bars, and the floor competition.
She's been handling the pressure so well as a freshman. It's really exciting to watch.
Her best on the bars was back in the Wasatch Classic, 9.875.
She's very intentional with her gymnastics. Pretty pike Jaeger. Nice overshoot. That looks cleaner than in the past. Still a slight form break, but overall very good. Nice calf handstand. Free hip. Directly to the double layout with a stick. I would say that's one of Iowa's best routines.
Certainly excited about that one from Munoz.
Jaquavia went 9.85 on bars. Iowa starting to build in the scores.
So finally in the vault will be Maddie Diab. Diab, as we've talked about her athletic ability in gymnastics.
Yes, she's great on the floor.
9.8 last week in the Denver meet. She's had 10 scores of 9.9 in her career.
Wow, yes, that's very impressive.
9.95 at the Big Ten Championships last year.
And unfortunately, she did not compete.
Did she get a mulligan on that? A second chance?
She did not get a second chance because she touched the ball first.
So then, will she get a score then and not?
She will get a score.
But it won't figure in, I suppose, because they, like you said, they take just the top 5.
Yes, so that's going to be the score that.
So it does happen from time to time that an athlete just kind of slips up and doesn't have the best performance.
It looked like she was worried about the board setting a little bit in the beginning, but there's a lot of factors that we don't see in practice that go on. Adeline, beautiful bar worker. She did her Maloney to packed combination, very well done. And she was just a little bit short on that handstand on the high bar.
Nice. Adeline Penland. Junior all-around athlete right here in Iowa City. You know, her highest score of the year was 9.875, where she tied for first back against Minnesota back in late January. You know, like in a lot of sports, okay, let's kind of focus on this individual. How much improvement do you really notice from practice to practice to meet as you go through the season? Can it be significant?
Yes, we practice year-round.
Yeah.
So the spring training is only 8 hours a week, so we don't do a lot of routines. It's mainly just maintenance. And then as we move into the fall, it starts to become putting routines together. In November, December is when you're really focusing in on the details. So endurance, the form, the stuck landings, and then really you see what they do with the first meet. And then from there you adapt. You change each week, you move the lineups around. And it really varies each week, but you should see progression as we move through the season.
Are there certain parts then of your routine that you work on at any practice time? You know, and I don't know how much practice time you can put in before you get wore out on a daily basis.
So most teams do vault or floor on the alternate days just to save the body a little bit. But every day you do being embarrassed.
Yeah, wow.
We have an exhibition for Iowa right now.
Yeah, exhibition.
Kaya Vanny. Very clean routine. The Hawks are happy.
Gathering at the dismount mat. Yeah, it takes great support, I think, doesn't it, Kaya? So as we come to a close now with the second event of this meet, let's talk a little bit about Kyla Kessler. Kyla Kessler from the Sacramento area went to UC Davis. Talk about your history in gymnastics.
I grew up in the San Francisco area. I'm from Fremont, California. Went to Davis. Committed there when I was 15. So I was a freshman in high school and I couldn't get to Davis. Yeah, I got injured my first 2 years. Had a COVID year. Came back for my freshman year, did all around, was gymnast of the year in my conference, and yeah, now I'm at Iowa attending physical therapy school.
So, which of the events in gymnastics what was your favorite? Did you have one?
Yes, my favorite was floor for most of my career, but I also began to really love beam and vault. So I've always loved floor and vault, but I started to really love beam at the end because there's a dance element to it, and it's really fun to bring your personality into the beam. So I'm heading up to Decorah for a really fun goal.
Are you? Yeah, Decorah is a beautiful area up there. They call it God's country up there. You know, it's really special. Good. Good. Well, so, and how long will you be in physical therapy school?
I'm in an accelerated program, so I'll graduate next December.
Next December?
It's 2.5 years.
It's just amazing how athletic training has grown, how the treatment for athletic injuries, you know, has really expanded, you know, and I think it all goes along with, you know, helping people live longer, you know, when your injuries can be rehabbed.
Yes, and people are living longer in general, so
Sure.
they need more rehab and activities of daily living. Those are so important to have, being functional in that way, and standing, sitting, you know, not sitting as much and standing. So.
Move into event number 3 for the Iowa Hawkeyes. On the balance beam is Jerquavia Henderson.
Strong lead off for Iowa. Last week she had 9.9.
Tied for first.
She begins with a step, flip-flop layout step. She has to do a weekly combination. Switch to straddle
Well, considering it's called a balance beam, I suppose balance is probably the most important part of judging
Yes.
until they dismount.
But yes, the beam is, I think, less than 4 inches wide. So it's a mentally challenging event because physically it's the same as the floor. But
Except you're off the floor and you've got, what is that, 3 inches wide up there, the beam?
yep.
So now we go to Iowa State with the floor exercise and Kelsey Boychuk. Did a 9.8 last week in the Denver meet.
She's going to start with a round off the left height. Iowa State has really fun choreography. Heading into her next pass. Round off the layout, step out, layout.
So it gives her a chance, and all floor exercise athletes show a few dance moves while they're. Does it kind of take away from the pressure of having to?
I think it just makes it fun. I think that floor is an event where you can have that big performance quality and kind of show who you are, what you like to dance to.
Sure.
She ends with a double back, 3-pass routine. It's
Kelsey Boychuk for Iowa State. Senior from Broomfield, Colorado. Now we'll go back to the balance beam for the Iowa Hawkeyes. And it'll be Allison Zulke.
last week she scored 9.85. She's had some trouble in some weeks, so we'll see how she performs today.
Best score of the year was a 9.875 at Nebraska.
She has a beautiful triple series. Very difficult. Difficult layout step. connection. Switches, taking power, also laying out the game sideways. A little bit of
Nice performance.
Let it happen.
Yes, best to have it be happening now at the end of the year than earlier in the year. Back to the floor exercise for Iowa State. Laura Cook. Competed in 11 meets last year on the floor, 2 times 9.9 scores. So certainly very capable.
Last week she scored 9.65, hoping to improve this week. She starts off with a front handspring, front double full. She steps out of bounds. So that'll be a 10 ball.
Just got to keep going, don't you, when you have a little simple mistake like that?
Yeah.
Because you can recover enough to get a top-notch score, but you still will be deducted, I think, right, from it.
She can still score very heading into the last half. Round off 1.5. Very difficult. 2 pass routine. Beautiful combination. A strong finish. Just a little bit off on the landings.
So Alexa Ebeling will be on the balance beam for the Hawks.
She's a great worker.
Senior from Adel, Iowa. I knew there was a couple of Iowa schools. Now Adel is a small school, so something I saw last night when watching the Florida Oklahoma gymnastics meet.
She's still gonna want to finish
At a 9.800, tied for 5th at Michigan State. Wow. Now, do they select their own dismount where they want to finish?
What is going to be the cleanest form and the easiest to stick? Unfortunate for Iowa, but they're going to want to drop that spinner.
Okay. So now for Iowa State. And Irene Palacios. 9.850 last weekend. Palacios from Guatemala City, Guatemala. able to get out of the country to come to America and realize a dream. Get an education.
That's amazing they can recruit them out of the country.
Part of the Guatemalan Gym Federation team. Academic All Big 12 last year.
She's finishing with a double tight. That's great.
So Aubrey Nick will be on the balance beam for the Hawks. Did not compete in the Big 5 last weekend. She did, though, score 9.9 earlier this year back in the Suplex 16.
Very elegant.
Tied for second.
A little more pressure for Iowa now. Now that someone in the lineup has gone, they're going to want everyone from here on out to everything in their returns. But really, at this point, nothing changes. Your job is the same. Stay on the game. Do what you know how to do.
So how much time do they have before, after they've been announced, to be up on their event?
I don't know. I think there was a judging discrepancy.
Oh, there was?
So,
So we got to clear that up before we move forward. So Aubrey Nick will be on the balance beam for the Hawks. Aubrey is a junior out of Wakanda, Illinois. Has competed almost in every meet in the beam. Didn't last week at the Big 5 due to injury, or just was you kind of a shake-up in the lineup?
it might just be, could be a variety of factors. Could be confidence. Could be other people performing better that week. Maybe she needed a rest.
Yeah.
She had a hard week in school.
Yeah, a lot of factors involved, yeah.
It's difficult to compete week in and week out. 12+ meets every weekend.
She didn't compete at all in the Big 5 last weekend. So, yeah, maybe just the break. I mean, all athletes, you put so much effort into it, I suppose, that at some point you got to give yourself some time. Nice crowd on hand here today, Kyla. I suppose it doesn't surprise you. I would never have guessed that, 2,000 to 3,000 people would turn out.
Iowa loves Hawkeye.
They do. They do. Of course, it's against Iowa State, and I guess while we're talking about it, it is the Cyhawk Series, Iowa Corn Grower Cyhawk Series, in which Iowa State and Iowa have competed for the last 17 years in it. They dropped it during the COVID year, but Iowa State's going to win this year. It's going to be their second consecutive year. Iowa State with 15 points already on the season, Iowa with just 6. Coming into this meet, there's this meet, and then there's the softball game between the two coming up.
Yes, I've heard that they're in front.
Here's Aubrey Nick.
There's a leap up to the height. Layout. So look at that next check. She's gonna gotta get the
She hit it pretty well, didn't she?
yes.
Off the beam to the mat.
Great comeback for Iowa.
Tabling at a 9.000. So now we go back to the floor, and Hannah Loyam Loyam last week, 9.9.
That's a great score. They're definitely going to want to see that
Sophomore from Mountain Lakes, New Jersey. Scored a 9.925 against the Hawkeyes a year ago.
9.9.
Certainly you leave that year behind you. Every year's different, because the thought of what you did last year can't play into what you do this year because there's so many different circumstances.
It's new athletes on the team, could potentially be new coaches. This could be a lot of things. Injuries that happen in off-season. She heads into her last pass. Just round off 1.5. She did a front tuck, but I think she meant to do something a little bit harder.
She changed in midstream.
I think she didn't punch the right way, so she had to change it in order to land.
I see. So that was Hannah Loyam for Iowa State on the floor exercise. Now for the Hawks, going back to the balance beam, will be Marissa Rojas.
Last week she had a 9.825, but her career high is a 9.925. Unfortunately, she falls on her full turn. So Iowa will definitely have to count a fall. Beautiful triple series. Her leap, a switch leap to a split three-quarter. Off the side, stick. So unfortunately, Iowa will have to count a fall tonight.
So how do they go about determining the kind of routine that they want to present on a balance beam? How would you know?
She's obviously had great scores and could have just been an off week. She got a full turn.
Well, I'm talking about the movements on the beam. While you're up there, how do you know which ones you want to? Do you make it up as you go?
So that you're practicing the same thing also.
Okay.
So there might be minor adjustments if things aren't working the right way. But usually it's the routine that you start training in the beginning of seasons in August that you do all those.
So is it something you as an athlete then put together yourself?
It's really the coaches that work together.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. So back to the floor, Alondra Maldonado for Iowa State. And we should mention that we've got a new program record in attendance. Well, you just talked about it. I undersold it, Kyla. I said, nearly 3,000. We're at 3,715 people in attendance here today.
That's amazing. Everybody coming to support gymnastics is great.
It is.
Alondra scored a 9.85 last week.
Her high this season, 9.9 against UC Davis, a school that you're pretty close to, right?
Yep. I love it.
She did a 9.825 against Iowa last year, but on the balance beam, it wasn't on the floor.
Iowa State's going to want to be in that 9.85 to 9.9 range at the end of their lineup. She's a beautiful connection of a front layout to front 1.5. Chest just a little bit low in the leg.
So right now, Iowa State at 38.8 going into her routine.
They're still going to want to try to reach that 49 mark with the last couple girls in the lineup. She's going to end her routine with a double pike. Gorgeous double pike. She's excited. The girls are excited.
Well, the combination of speed, height, and
Oh, yes.
rotation.
Beautiful leaps here. That was a good
Enthusiastic.
one.
Yes.
So great.
Great performance. Alondra Maldonado back to the balance beam for the University of Iowa.
We have Adeline Kenlin. Last week she went 9.85, but her career has a 9.975, and she's the NC2A runner-up on beam at the championship last year, 2022. She's so confident in her gymnastics. She's a joy to watch.
Junior out of Iowa City. Has competed very well in bars, beam, and the floor this season.
She had a little bobble. She missed her connection. Unfortunately, she also falls. So
Can't be perfect all the time, can you?
Can't. And that's what's tough about gymnastics. You always strive for perfection.
Her high on the season point score was 9.95 in the Michigan State meet, in which she won. But she's been over 9.9 4 times on the year, 9.0 up.
Yeah, unfortunately, Iowa will have to count 2 falls, which is something they did not want tonight. But they still have 2 more meets to try to increase their NQS. Beautiful dismount finish.
Just the falling off is what was going to discount that, isn't it?
It's difficult when your teammate before you falls. It's just hard to keep momentum. It becomes nerve-wracking, but
Yeah. So here's Maddie Diep for Iowa State on the floor. Diep tied for first last week, 9.925 in the Denver meet.
she's great. She scored a 10 before, like we said earlier. She starts off with a big feminine connection to a front double full, to a front layout. We don't see many of those in college gymnastics.
She has scored a perfect 10 on the floor, which she did a year ago. Of course, when you grow up in a family of gymnasts, I guess you don't have much choice but to be a gymnast, do you?
So you're saying her dad was a national champ, right?
Two-time national champion at Iowa State. Just kind of a fitting picture there as we watch the above screen that Jay Ronayne in the corner that she has worked this routine into, standing right there, smiling, knowing that he's got quite an athlete here in Maddie.
So far, I haven't seen many deductions to take. So.
All Big 12 on the floor a year ago. Her father was a two-time national champ in the rings, back when they did the rings.
Maddie heads into her final pass. Looks pretty good to me. That was a great routine tonight.
Sure. Be interesting to see how her routine is judged here. Adeline Kenlin with an 8.875.
So that'll be the score that Iowa drops. We have an exhibition.
Yep.
Karina Munoz.
Karina Munoz.
Last week she was in the lineup and she scored a 9.9. Really difficult in combination, done very well. She is so confident and intentional in her gymnastics. Stuck full turn.
freshman from East Brunswick, New Jersey.
She's been great this season, all 4 events. Unfortunately, she falls too.
Had a high score of 9.925 and a tie for first at the Nebraska meet.
It's a tough rotation for Iowa, but every fall is a growing and learning lesson.
Yes.
I'm sure they'll come back next week and stronger. I know when I fell, I had to do a lot of reflection on what happened, what was going on. Was I not focused? Was I distracted? I had to think about a lot of things, do a lot of reflection in order to...
So that's where reflection mentally then is just to do and the reflection? Because you're questioning a few different parts of the routine.
Like, did I do something different this week? Did I train differently? Was the atmosphere any different? Like, how can I focus in better? And it's really a combination of things. Did people fall before you? Is there more pressure on you now? But I always remind myself that my routine was independent of other routines. So whatever happened to everybody else, like I still need to do my job.
Well, as we watched her and as she fell, you could almost see that her balance was off just a little bit. Could have been momentum. Could it have been, maybe, I don't know, not enough height, not enough twist. What could it be?
It could have been any of those things. It could have happened right at the beginning. She maybe swung her arm differently before and just caused her to divert in a different direction.
Can you kind of just let it go and move on to the next one?
It's really hard to do that. I think because we
Drive you nuts.
perfection.
Yeah, right.
Gymnastics.
The injuries that you had sustained, what kind of led you down the path of physical therapy? What was your path that otherwise had not been physical therapy?
Well, my bio on the website would say athletic, but I think that I would like to do coaching. I really love gymnastics, and I like working with athletes, and I like working with teams, so I hope that's in my future too.
Kyla Kessler doing our analysis work here tonight. Her background in gymnastics is second to none. She's taught me a lot already about gymnastics.
Glad you're learning.
Well, as we had talked about prior to the broadcast, I enjoy these Olympic sports that don't get a lot of promotion. And I'm a football, basketball, baseball guy. But it's always great to be a part of some new things, learn new things, and be able to build your resume, which I don't need, but it's just the idea that I'm able to be a part of something different that I've never I've watched, but have never been a part of as far as announcing it. So we move into the fourth event. Lauren Thomas will be on the beam for Iowa State. Had a 9.8 in the Denver meet last week. She's a transfer from the University of Washington, where her career high on the balance beam is a 9.9.
Yes, and that's very strong for Lauren, and I would say definitely going to be around that.
There must be a curved balance beam here tonight. Those young ladies keep slipping off.
There's a big crowd. It's loud in here. There's a lot going on. But they can still drop the score. She's still going to want to finish strong. Nice switch sweep to straddle shoulder. She's going to dismount with a round off 1.5. Good finish.
And you can see she's already beginning to do the reflection that you had talked about. But, you can't let it beat yourself up.
No, because there's still 5 other girls in the lineup who need to hit the routine.
So the Hawks have Hannah Castillo on the floor exercise. Freshman from Boca Raton, Florida.
And her career high is a 9.925. That's amazing as a freshman.
only the 5th time that she has competed on the season, and all of them on the floor. So would that be to say that she is specializing in floor exercise
I'm sure she's training.
for others?
Yeah, I'm sure she's training most of the events. But hopefully we'll see her in those events in the future. She started off with a beautiful front tuck step to a beautiful double pike with a great landing. So far, all season, she's had scores over 9.85.
Well, talented and consistent, if you will, with with improvement and result. The results that'll increase as she goes through her career here at the University of Iowa.
Definitely. She's going to finish with a double tuck. Great landing. Another good start for Iowa.
As you talked about, putting somebody out there right away on their exercise, that has that confidence and that ability to perform, a good way to get a momentum build.
That's really important to have a strong lead off.
Kelsey Boychuk will be on the balance beam for Iowa State. Coming into this 4th and final competition, Iowa State 146.225 points, Iowa 145.975.
Yes, and the beam judges are having a conference right now about the scores. So there might be a little bit of a delay before Kelsey gets to start.
Are you saying team scores? Is that what they're conferring?
The first athlete on the leaderboard in tennis, they're discussing their score. Probably because of a misconnection.
So Kelsey Boychuk from Iowa State on the balance beam a week ago at 9.725. Certainly looking to improve that.
Iowa State's going to want to dial in these last 5 routines.
Can the delay sometimes throw off your mental structure?
Definitely. We used to practice that. It took a long time before a routine.
Just in the case that it might happen in a regular meet?
Like I was telling you before we broadcasted, that does happen often. A judge conference about
And
scores.
meet resumes. Boychuk, the senior, 4-year gymnast at Iowa State, competing on the vault beam and the floor. Had a 9.875 on the vault last week.
She does a wrist turn. They're testing a little low at the end. Her leap series, cat leaps with calf connection, is just shy of this. The flight series, the front layout, unfortunately she falls as well. Side semi connection, done very well. Gainer full to finish.
We as normal bystanders, as we watch, especially on the balance beam, we expect them to fall off there. They expect to be perfect, to not fall, to get through the entire routine without flaw. I think the ordinary viewer just doesn't completely understand all of that.
You're training these skills every day, multiple times a day, and you train them well too. So it's hard to go into a meet and fall.
No, I'm sure it is. So for the Hawkeyes, is on the floor, Bailey Libby.
Last week, Bailey went 9.875. She's only a freshman as well. She started off with a front handspring, front double full.
Has competed in the floor exercise all season long. Best score of 9.875, as you talked about, at the Big Five last weekend.
She's a great addition to this floor line. Next pass, around off 1.5 to the front layout.
It's amazing the support she's getting from her teammates on the side. They know her moves and routines and are doing them with her.
That's an exploit so far.
Obviously the daughter of Larissa Libby. Can't imagine how nervous Coach Libby is at this point watching her daughter.
Oh, yeah. Bailey finishes with a step front handspring to a Rudy.
Larissa Libby, University of Iowa, on the floor exercise. Bailey Libby, excuse me. So now we're going to go to Josie Bergstrom on the balance beam for Iowa State.
Last week, Josie was 9.8.
Bergstrom, a sophomore, had back-to-back 9.9s in vaulting a year ago in the first and second round of regionals.
She has a cat lead, to a front toss, back handspring. Switching split trap retention.
She really held it together well.
They needed that.
There's Josie Bergstrom back to the floor exercise for the Iowa Hawkeyes. Karina Munoz.
She's going to start with a double layout. Her chest was a little bit low on the landing, but otherwise it was super clean.
Munoz with a 9.825 last weekend.
Nice lead.
Yeah,
She debuted that double layout for the first time 2 weeks ago.
Things you don't bring out in a meet until you actually can perfect them, huh?
It's awesome.
Don't experiment in a meet like that?
I mean, they're training it all season long, but it's awesome to see difficulty in season
Sure.
and having different upgrades. It shows that they're continuously working to get better.
She had two 9.875s on the season. Bailey Libby with a 9.825 in her routine.
Karina had a great landing on her second pass. Nicely done for Karina.
Alondra Maldonado now for Iowa State on the balance beam. Last year against Iowa had a 9.825.
This is her first time in the beam lineup in a couple of weeks. Josie Bergstrom
Good routine, though.
Building momentum.
So on, say, the balance beam, you're always thinking a move or two ahead
It's all I'm seeing in the moment.
at the moment.
Just in the moment, yep.
So for the Hawks, on the floor, Linda Zivit.
She was a front tuck, into a double back. Has a small speed.
Senior from Manhattan, Illinois. Has had a high of 9.9 in the Wasatch Classic back in January 14.
She's definitely capable of scoring that against me. Last time performing in Carver. And she's a senior, so they're going to celebrate her tonight.
Going to give it all she has those last couple of meets.
Oh, yeah. But it's nice that conference is here at Extreme in Iowa City. So
Helpful. Very, very minimal travel. Very, very. It's going to be like a home meet. Natalie Horowitz for Iowa State.
last week she scored a 9.8.
Injured all of last year. Graduate student.
She had a slight bobble on that connection, but I think the judges think it was good.
Linda Zivit with a 9.825 on the floor exercise for the Hawks. Alondra Maldonado at a 9.75. 9.25, excuse me, on her balance beam. Back to the floor exercise for the Hawks. Adeline Kenlin.
With a front handspring front full that was supposed to be a double full.
$9.875 last weekend.
Unfortunately, her start value will be lower this week. Beautifully series.
Good synchronization with music to movement.
Around about 1.5. Front layout. Pins were a little bit soft in the pinch, so she under-rotated her layout.
So Hannah Loyam for Iowa State on the balance beam. Tied for third last weekend at 9.85 on the beam.
switching to switch side. Flight 2 step up lands, and she sticks it. Nice return. Directly into some dance. Front aerial to for her acro connection.
She's been very well balanced through the whole routine.
She dismounts with a gainer first step.
Yeah.
Good finish by Ivy.
Natalie Horowitz with a 9.375 for Iowa State on her balance beam routine. And Jerquavia Henderson for the University of Iowa.
Also her last routine at Harvard.
How fast it goes. Just when you think you get here as a freshman 4 years ago.
I mean, I didn't want to leave. I had to take a fifth year. I still had a 6-year eligibility too.
It's tough to drag yourself away from that, isn't it?
I had to do it this year.
Well, Jerquavia Henderson will complete Iowa's floor exercise. Tied for first a week ago. Her fourth 9.925 of the season.
And she scored a couple of 9.975s.
Executed that pretty well.
Oh, yeah. She has great skills on every event.
Been perfecting that for 3 years.
Hits 180 and all around.
Jerquavia's best score on the floor, 9.975, which she's done 4 times in her career.
She's been on the hunt for a 10.
How close is that to perfection?
As close as you can get.
And where can that imperfect be?
I mean, it could be differences in the WC and landing.
Sure.
That was a great routine for Jerquavia.
Good applause from the crowd. The senior from Peoria, Illinois, being mobbed by teammates. But I think she knows when she goes into routines that she's going to perform well because she's at that level.
She's done this so many times. And she has great performance quality.
Loyam with a 9.775 on her balance beam. And we'll see if the judges come up here with Jerquavia Henderson. The suspense is incredible, isn't it?
Waiting for the score to come in.
You can remember watching the Olympics go through the same thing, you know.
And we still have an exhibition on floor for the Hawks.
So you think the longer that they really are evaluating, the better the score might be? Does it work that way sometimes, Kyla?
In my experience, not usually. If they take longer, they're thinking about it more, they need to do more math for the deductions, but that's a great score for Jerquavia.
9.925, the fifth 9.925 she's received this season. So, as you reflect back on what she did, I mean, where do you see that the last, 0.75 points, 0.075 points come from?
Well, she's very consistent. I think just being confident in her landings. I think she just had a little bit of slide of her foot. The judges will take from her. So planting her feet down. But a 9.925 is what the Hawks needed.
Larissa Rojas. Exhibition for the University of Iowa on the floor.
A really difficult leap.
Sophomore from Canton, Michigan. Her first floor routine in a meet this season.
Well, it's great for her to get out and get some experience hopefully this year. Just a double pipe and had a little bit too much power.
Had a lot of power, didn't she? Took her over. I can just imagine, you know, the adrenaline flow when you get yourself really pumped up like that. How it doesn't happen more often.
It's different in front of a crowd too because you're performing, and I got tired quicker versus in the gym. So
sure.
It's just different. But, yeah. Final scores for the night: Iowa 195.275 to Iowa State 194.2.
So the Hawkeyes win the home regular season finale over Iowa State in the Cy-Hawk series. It'll close the gap to 15-8 in the Iowa Corn Growers Cy-Hawk series. Iowa State still is going to win the Cy-Hawk series for this academic year, 2022-2023. So your overall assumption, your summary of what you saw here today. Let's start with the University of Iowa.
I mean, Iowa looked great. They didn't stick as many landings as probably they hope and I'd like to see. The beam took them out, same with Iowa State. So, yeah, I think if both teams can stay on their events, that will dramatically improve their scores, which is what they want to see. So today they didn't have the day that they wanted to, either team, but they still have 2 more chances before regionals. So.
But Iowa in that top 36, Iowa State still has a ways to go yet in your mind?
Yes. Iowa State will have to perform very well the next 2 weeks in order to qualify to regionals.
I wonder if that improvement can even come that much more when it comes to the Big 12 championships, where the competition is a little bit more stiff.
It really just depends on like I said before, the factors that go into the meet, what type of what their training is like, is everybody healthy? There's a lot of things that go into it, so they're just gonna have to do the gymnastics they know how to do and be confident with it.
So Iowa with a 195.275 team score. Iowa State 194.200. Now it is a senior day here at the University of Iowa, so the seniors will be recognized by head coach Larissa Libby. Again, a nice crowd, 3,715, a new program record in attendance at Carver Hawkeye Arena. And, a sport that, like all, but a sport like gymnastics, slowly beginning to grow a little bit around the state of Iowa. They just need to continue to pump it a little bit more.
Yeah, I think gymnastics, the viewership at least online, is growing throughout the country. And I can obviously see why. It's a great sport. It's really fun. It's different. A lot of people don't know what it is exactly. So it's nice that it's getting more viewership and all that. So, yeah.
I think the ordinary person that watches the Olympic gymnastics on television has not really ever been here and really doesn't know that much about it. Having been here, I can certainly, and watch it live, you can certainly see how popular, how developmental it can be for an athlete, male or female.
Yeah, I mean, it's a growing sport, and I think during those Olympic years, it does get more people to sign, more athletes to sign up. But yeah, I'm excited for the future of gymnastics and the people who see it.
You're going to be going to the Big Ten meet in a couple of weeks?
I will be. Yes, I bought my ticket yesterday, so
that'll be outstanding. Again, the Big Ten championships are at the Extreme Arena in Coralville on March 18. Will that just be a one-day thing all day on Saturday?
2 sessions.
So it runs kind of like 2 sessions. Yeah, that's right. The sessions would be in the morning. Well, they'll start at 11 o'clock in the morning as Illinois, Maryland, Minnesota, Nebraska, Penn State, and Rutgers. And then at 4:30 that afternoon, Iowa, Michigan, Michigan State, and Ohio State. You're wondering about some of the other schools. There are 4 that do not have gymnastics as part of their Division I athletic program.
I mean, it'll be a great meet. It'll be super fun to watch. The energy is going to be amazing. Having 4 teams in Extreme Arena, 4 to 6 teams in Extreme Arena, will be really fun. It'll be crowded. It'll be loud. So I'm really excited for it.
So as we talk about then, what what comes out of the Big Ten meet that moves forward to the NCAA regionals, like that first round?
Just wherever you place in the top 36. And teams that don't, like full teams that don't place in the top 36 can still have individuals qualify.
Yeah, individuals, yeah. But a team like Iowa, and Iowa State last year had, I think, 14 out of 15 years they had been in the NCAA regionals. Probably not going to make it this year, just saying that now. But a team like University of Iowa pretty well is solid in that top 36. And then with the number of individuals to move on into regionals, certainly is a good result for this year.
Yeah, I mean, I think Iowa has a really great chance, just like they did at regionals, to make it to the second round. So that's what they're going to want to do. Yeah, they just have to keep improving each week.
What about getting it to the NCAA championship weekend?
Yeah.
I mean, how difficult is that?
It's really difficult, but they did it last year, so they made it to the second round of regionals last year. I mean, it's difficult, and it really just depends on who performs and how they perform that weekend. So it really has nothing to do with the scheme of everything, just what happens on that day and who you're competing against.
I think it's more mental, because physically they've got it all down, but mentally they have to get all tuned into it, don't they?
I mean, you could have the best day ever, but the two other teams you're competing against may also have the best day ever, and then you don't make it to the next round. So it really just depends.
Wow.
On the seeding.
Well, Kyla Kessler, it's been a pleasure working with you here today, and I appreciate you, putting up, with my, very novice approach to gymnastics. But I certainly would look forward to doing another one, and if it happens to be with you, that would be great.
Thank you for being willing to learn and listen. It was awesome working with you too. And thanks to everybody for listening in.
I'm Jerry Koala. Kyla Kessler working with me here today with the University of Iowa State Cy-Hawk Series gymnastics meet from Carver Hawkeye Arena right here on BTN+.
At this time, please direct your attention to the floor as we send it over to head coach Larissa Libby for a few words.
Hi everybody, thanks for coming out tonight. First, I just want to say thank you to Iowa State for putting up for I know that there was a big storm coming in, so I'm glad that it didn't deter anybody. Second, I just want to say we broke an attendance record tonight. There we go. We love having our Hawkeye fans here. I know it's a toss-up women's basketball, gymnastics. So, women's sports are just making stuff as we're going on. We want to say thank you to our seniors. This is the last time that they'll appear in Carver Hawkeye Arena. And breaking an attendance record is definitely the way to send them out. We have one more chance. I know that we're not going to be able to see you guys in Carver again this year, but one more chance. We have Big Ten championships. We're going to be hosting at Extreme Arena. So if we have the attendance that we had tonight, we pack that place. So let's go! Antilles, let's go! I don't know why they keep putting me on. And now we're gonna dance. Get ready for the cha-cha slide.
All right, it's time for Carver tradition. Get on your feet. Look for yourself on the video board. As Coach Libby says, it's time for the cha-cha slide.
Everybody clap your hands. Clap, 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 clap your hands. Clap, 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 clap your hands. All right, now, we're going to do the basic step. To the left. Take it back now, y'all. One hop this time. Right foot, let's stop. Left foot, let's stop. Cha-cha, real smooth.
Senior parents, please make your way to the tunnel. Thank you. Joining us for the awards ceremony is Emily Reese. Emily is a former athletic trainer for the Iowa Gymnastics program and is a cancer survivor. She will be assisting us in the awards presentation. How about a round of applause for Emily Reese? Our first award is for the state MVP for Iowa State goes to Ana Palacios. And state MVP award for the Iowa Hawkeyes, Jerquavia Henderson. Let's now recognize the winners of the individual events. On the vault, there is a 2-8 tie for first with scores of 9.825 from Iowa State, Josie Bergstrom. From Iowa, Karina Munoz. On bars, we have a 2-8 tie for first place with scores of 9.85. From Iowa, Karina Munoz. And from Iowa, Jerquavia Henderson. In first place on B with a score of 9.875 from Iowa, Allison Zolke. On the floor, we have a 2-8 tie for first with scores of 9.925 from Iowa State, Maddie Diaz. And from Iowa, Jerquavia Henderson. And finally, our all-around winner for tonight with a score of 39.4 from Iowa, Jerquavia Henderson. Now the final team scores for our competition in second place with a score of 194.20, the Iowa State Cyclones. And in first place with a score of 195.275, your University of Iowa Hawkeyes. Tonight is our last home meeting, and it's our chance to give a big hand to our 2023 senior class. We'd also like to include the visiting Iowa State Cyclones and their seniors on the festivities. On the floor, now we have Kelsey Boychuk, Laura Cook, Maddie Diaz, Maya Ford, Natalie Horowitz, Alondra Maldonado. Michaela Maxwell. And Jane Valorite. Let's hear it for the Cyclones 2023 senior class. Now it's time to recognize Iowa's 2023 senior class. These women have been incredible teammates, Hawkeyes, and competitors. We honor these women with heartfelt words from Coach Libby. First, let's hear it for Ellie Rogers. Ellie is joined by her parents, Pam and Mike Rogers, and brother Cullen.
Ellie's path to Iowa occurred in a time when recruiting was very different. The rules were looser, you could verbally commit very early, and you were still permitted to do both official and unofficial visits. I remember her coming to campus and marveling at how young she looked. It seemed odd that she was here to learn about Iowa when she appeared to be barely out of elementary school. While her look was youthful, her intellect was not. She asked great questions, listened intently, and processed everything she heard before asking anything else. Between her mom, dad, and Ellie herself, it was obvious that the concept of family was high on her priority list, a quality highly valued on this team. We were all drawn to her that day for several reasons, but one of the main ones was her quirky sense of humor. At one point, her dad told a story about his time here at Iowa, and she was clearly embarrassed as it seemed this was not something he had shared with her before. Caught a little off guard, she tried to hide her insecurity with humor, and Mom and Dad jumped right in. Those moments stayed very clear in my mind, as it was at this time when we knew we had to have her. As a gym hog, the athletic road has certainly not been simple for Ellie. Throughout her career, she has been plagued with minor setbacks that always seem to show up at the wrong time. This is not to say that her gymnastics was lacking. Throughout her career, Ellie competed in 15 meets, tallying 3 top 7 finishes on bars. In 2021, she had a season high of 9.825 to tie for third in our victory over Penn State and boasted a career high of 9.875. Academically, she has been named to the Dean's List 3 times, as well as the academic All-Big Ten team. While Ellie's athletic ability certainly helped to push Iowa to prominence, it is her character, the understanding of our culture, her work ethic, and her unconditional love of her teammates that has transcended expectation. She has had every reason to give up, but her determination to fulfill a role on our team keeps her coming back. Ellie has grown into an amazing young woman. She has learned a lot about who she is and what's important to her. She is learning to give herself the grace she provides others so she can truly begin to love and appreciate everything that she has to offer. While unable to finish out her senior year's competitions, Ellie remains a main contributor to the success of this team and exemplifies gratitude daily. Without her sense of humor, her passion for gymnastics, and her calming presence, I don't believe we would have been as successful as we are so far. As Ellie moves on into the real world, my hopes for her are simple. 1, that she finds joy in every day. 2, that she surrounds herself with people who truly see and appreciate her inner light. And finally, that she is able to look back on her time at Iowa, see all of the amazing ways she added value to our program, and be filled with nothing but happiness.
Let's hear it for Ellie Rogers. Next up, let's hear it for Linda Sibbett.
she was a highly recruited athlete, committed early in the process to Michigan State, and then transferred to Iowa. It's pretty unusual in our sport to transfer in your junior year, and until more recently, we had not been known as a school that had knowledge of the process. However, after initial conversations, I had a clear picture of Linda's motivation to make this move, and by the middle of the summer, we had a new team member. Though her words were clear, the full picture of why she transferred came in meeting her face to face. Since her arrival at Iowa, Linda has become a household name in NCAA gymnastics. In her junior year, she competed in 11 heats, earning 3 event wins and 8 top 3 finishes. Her career high, 9.975 on vault, ties for 3rd best in program history. At the 2022 NCAA Regional Final, Linda tied for 4th, and in this season so far, she has earned 5 individual vault titles, and she's just getting started. The impact she has had on our team has been immense, and while her accolades are significant, she has brought so much more to this program than pure athletic achievement. Linda's presence has helped to shift the mentality of the team, and she is probably completely unaware of it. Linda's passion for competition is one of her most obvious contributions to our team. It isn't that she just loves to compete. She simply loves the thrill of the challenge, no matter what it is. Whether it's through the many dance battles she has in the gym, or through her constant conversation starters of would you rather, her entire being lights up. And while it seems fun, it also fulfills a craving to compete. Linda has truly blessed our team with that example. Who she is on the competition floor, genuine as it gets. Not everyone loves to compete, and not everyone loves the feeling of being physically and mentally challenged, but Linda does. Linda's competitive edge is always on display. She is completely motivated by being challenged and has brought that energy to this team. She has made it okay to be both focused and determined while simultaneously rejoicing and loving the pure thrill of the moment. We have had many incredible competitors here at Iowa, but none who have brought the ferocity and intensity that Linda has. Throughout Linda's time here, she has reflected a pure passion for her sport and love for her team. She is intrinsically motivated and has been the poster child for the meaning of focus. Once she has made up her mind, there is no stopping her. Very few athletes possess the level of intensity that she maintains, and because of that, she has been extremely successful. Linda works hard, but never forgets to show appreciation for the opportunities she has been given. She is intense, but wears her heart on her sleeve. We are very proud of her resilience and her persistence in overcoming obstacles, unimaginable grief, and pushing boundaries to learn about herself and what makes her who she is. We feel blessed every day that her path led her to the Hawkeyes and our family. It was by pure chance that we were able to bring her to our team, and we have been nothing but grateful ever since. Our only regret is that we were denied the opportunity to have her for the first 2 years.
Linda Zivit. Our final senior of the evening, make some noise for Jaquavia Henderson. Jaquavia is joined by her parents, Letitia and Kenneth Haywood, and sisters Kiera and Zuri.
Hugh's journey to Iowa started when she was a little girl. I remember her coming to camps and always being amazed at her talent. She was so young and already so good. As she grew older, she began coming to camp with a list of skills. She would look me in the face and say, "These are the skills I need to learn for this." Keep in mind, camp was only 4 days long, but she was determined to cross everything off that list. For years, she came to us in this same way, until finally, she signed on the dotted line and became a Hawkeye. Her first year at Iowa was anything but smooth. Living in the dorms, adjusting to classes, new coaches and teammates, and on top of everything, she suffered a season-ending injury that initially shut her down both mentally and physically. The transition was certainly difficult. Hugh had never really been hurt to the point where she was unable to do anything. She had no idea what to do with herself, and she seemed lost. With help from her team, an incredible athletic trainer, and her coaches, she immersed herself in the coaching world. She learned about each skill, what she was seeing, and why different corrections were made. And by the time she was able to begin training again, her perspective on gymnastics had completely evolved. As time went on, it was evident that Hugh's level of determination and desire to achieve would override the many obstacles that once stood in her way. To date, Hugh is a two-time All-American and only the third Hawkeye to earn multiple All-American distinctions. She is the first Gym Hawk since 2016 and 17 to earn consecutive first-team honors, and she currently shares the school record on floor with a 9.975. In 2021, she was named to the Big Ten All-Championship team after winning a share of the floor title, becoming only the fourth Big Ten champion in school history. Hugh is a two-time first-team All-Big Ten selection and has earned 3 Big Ten weekly honors throughout her career. And this year's pool season hasn't even begun. Hugh's love to compete and her strength as an athlete is matched only by her desire to represent her family and teammates with the highest of standards, and she does so with grace and humility. At all times, she is keenly aware that her actions are on display. She's an excellent representative of the Iowa way. She pours her heart and soul into everything she does and is a friend to everyone she meets. While she did not grow up having a large team, teammates that are all the same age, she has placed a large emphasis on attempting to be what she never had. She's always willing to take the time out of her day to help her teammates get ahead. She is comforting, calming, inspiring, and has one of the most compassionate hearts this team has ever seen. Throughout her time with us, Hugh has consistently demonstrated an impeccable level of commitment to the team and our culture, as well as a strong sense of loyalty and respect for her coaches, the university, and the Iowa way. Without question, she has worked diligently to send the message that this team is her #1 priority. Hugh's desire to be the best and unwavering dedication to her growth and maturity, coupled with her passion for the Hawkeyes, have all come together to make her one of the most well-rounded and successful student athletes to come through this program. Her lightheartedness, Urkel-style dancing, candy eating, and ability not to take life too seriously will certainly be missed. Hawkeye Nation has been blessed with an amazing role model. We are grateful to have had the privilege of working with her.
Jerquavia Henderson. All right, Hawkeye fans, let's hear for our seniors, Ellie, Linda, and Jerquavia. Please watch your step as you exit the arena. Please dispose of any trash or recycling in proper receptacles, as it is a big help to our facilities team. The Gym Hawks are back in action in 2 weeks on Saturday, March 18th, when they host the Big Ten Championships at Extreme Arena. Once again, thank you for being here tonight, being part of the record crowd. Drive home safely.